Before the world knew his name, Kanye West was just a kid with dreams too big for the rooms he was in. Born in Atlanta in 1977 and raised in Chicago, Kanye wasn't molded by fame or wealth. He was shaped by ideas. His mother, Donda West, a professor, a thinker, a believer, was his first and strongest influence. She taught him that words mattered, that art could change people, that confidence wasn't arrogance if you earned it. And Kanye listened. But he also watched. He watched a world that didn't take kids like him seriously. He wasn't from the streets. He didn't fit the rapper mold. He didn't sell a violent past or wear his trauma on his sleeve. What he had were beats and belief. Kanye started producing in the late 90s, quietly shaping the sound of hip-hop from the shadows. He made hits for others, Jay-Z, Ludacris, Alicia Keys. The industry loved his sound, but they didn't love him as an artist. "You're a producer, not a rapper," they said. So he rapped anyway. He would crash label offices, play his demos to anyone who'd listen, get rejected, mocked, laughed at. But Kanye knew something they didn't. He wasn't asking for permission. He was forcing his way in. When The College Dropout dropped in 2004, it exploded. Not because it sounded like everything else, but because it didn't. There was no gangsta bravado, no fake image, just truth, humor, honesty. A guy in a pink polo shirt rapping about insecurities, college pressure, religion, and self-worth. It wasn't just refreshing, it was revolutionary. Kanye was redefining masculinity in hip-hop. He proved you didn't have to be violent to be powerful. You didn't have to hide your feelings to be respected. He followed up with Late Registration, where the sound got grander, the lyrics deeper. Kanye was sampling orchestras, building cinematic arrangements, and pouring raw emotion into every line. Then came Graduation. He flipped the entire sound of hip-hop. It was electronic, stadium-sized, futuristic, and people loved it. Kanye wasn't following trends. He was erasing them and creating new ones. At this point, he was more than just a rapper. He was becoming a symbol of change, rebellion, originality. But that transformation came with a cost. Because behind the beats and bravado was a man who had no off switch. Someone who didn't just want to be heard. He needed to be heard. And when the world finally listened, it didn't know how to handle what came next. They say fame changes people. But for Kanye West, it didn't change him. It exposed him. All his dreams, all his flaws, all his fire, now in front of the world. After Graduation, Kanye stood at the top of the world. Untouchable, unstoppable. But in 2007, tragedy struck. His mother, Donda West, passed away. And just like that, the man who had rhymed about self-belief lost the one person who believed in him the most. That pain never left. It followed him into every studio session, every headline, every silence. In 808s and Heartbreak, he stripped it all back. No bravado, no tough guy act. Just auto-tuned cries from a broken heart. People didn't know what to make of it. But once again, Kanye was ahead of his time. Then came the masterpiece, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. This wasn't just an album, it was a confession. A war between ego and emptiness, between applause and isolation. Every lyric, every beat felt like a man trying to paint chaos into beauty. But genius has a cost, and Kanye started paying it in full. The outbursts got louder, the rants got longer, the world laughed, the headlines mocked, but they never stopped watching. With Yeezus, he went full rebel. No polish, no filter, just raw rage and industrial sound. Critics were divided, fans were confused. But Kanye, he wasn't trying to please anyone anymore. He was trying to survive his own mind. He jumped into fashion, laughed at, underestimated, but he turned Yeezy into a billion-dollar empire. He didn't just break into fashion, he bulldozed the door and built his own runway. But then, the chaos spilled over. Politics, presidential runs, bipolar disorder, public meltdowns, canceled shows, canceled deals. And through it all, Kanye kept speaking, even when the world didn't want to hear it. Then came Jesus is King. A gospel album, a pivot, a prayer. The man who once called himself a god, now surrendering to one. Church choirs, Sunday services, Kanye was searching for peace, not popularity. But this is the truth. Kanye West isn't meant to be understood. He's meant to be felt. He's not a clean-cut hero. He's a beautiful contradiction, an icon, a villain, a visionary, all at once. So, who is Kanye West? He's not just a rapper. He's a mirror of pain, power, ego, and evolution. He changed the sound of music. He bent fashion to his will. He built empires from ideas, and every time they counted him out, he came back louder,